weather looks nice today. And with that in mind, what's going on today? I thought I'd start out with this one where one of you mentioned there was a story of somebody shooting at a drone. At first, I was wondering what's this about? Is it, for example, another person thinking that a drone is, quote, spying on them and all that? Well, in this case, I can conclude they're definitely spying on them. So it's kind of a weird story. It relates to this. Apparently there's somebody online with these usernames called BumsNDrones. It seems like they're literally taking their drone, it looks like it's a mini, flying around these homeless people and essentially, I guess, taunting them or harassing them and all that. Although one in particular, it seems like they're flying around a certain area and there's a lot of, I guess, homeless people there and they're stealing a lot of stuff. That's what a lot of people are saying, like online anyways. And with this drone, you can see they're basically right up in their face, taunting them. They take out a gun trying to shoot it. One guy doesn't have much luck, but one guy actually does shoot it down and all that. And apparently, this was on places like TikTok and YouTube. TikTok apparently banned it. And the irony of this is, remember all that news in the previous days of people saying, oh, this drone is spying on me, it's taking naked pictures of me, like that one that ended up not being true? Well, in this case here, it absolutely is true where the drone is, quote, spying on them, but it seems like people's reactions are completely different depending on your mindset. A large portion of people, including the media, are praising this in some way, saying, oh, well, here's proof we have like a huge, I don't know, homeless problem and all that, people firing guns and so forth. So they're using it as a way to say it's great to help, I guess, whatever their cause is that they want to, I guess, bring more attention to. But you can clearly see the person is, quote, harassing them with a drone. I mean, in these cases, unfortunately, you have to be consistent. Where if you say flying around people like this and that is bad, you have to condemn it, unfortunately, in this case too. It's one thing if it was just flying around the area to say, wow, look at this stuff. But you can see in this guy's videos and so forth, he's, quote, pranking like a bunch of other people as well. So what would you think in this case? Again, regardless of the fact that they're homeless, for example, they might be stealing something, I don't think you have a right to harass someone in that way per se in this context. So that's a little hypocritical for everyone that always says, oh, this and that is spying on me, over the top regulations, etc., etc. Although in this case too, I think case in point, you can come up with all the rules and stuff you want. I don't think people like this are going to abide by it. You need general guidelines. Afterwards, it should just be general laws. Doesn't matter what you use. If you're harassing someone, then you punish them overall. That is so ironic. People make a big deal of people saying, oh, this is, quote, spying on me, when it's not. Yet here you have a real tangible example and people are like, oh, it's great because you have that video proof now. Although for tracking things like drones, this was kind of interesting, where apparently it says here the Kerala police is going to, I guess, drive around with this vehicle of sort that has some kind of, I guess, anti-drone device, if that's what you want to say. It says here, drones cannot fly anywhere in the state within a stipulated limit without permission. This Gilead Chief and anti-drone mobile vehicle launched by the Kerala Police's Drone Forensic Department to detect and disarm drones flying at specific places in the state to obtain prior permission from the government or the police, Tripranari Vyayan released in Cocoon Conference. This is the first time a police force in India is rolling out such a vehicle to prevent drone attacks and drones operating without permission in the new era. The work of the anti-drone system is to detect and neutralize drones that work without permission. Many officers from other states had to come to understand its activities. So that's kind of interesting. I mentioned before, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing those huge counter-drone, I guess, devices like the size of a trailer next to stadiums and all that. That made me think too, because of that phrase of saying drones without, quote, permission. Kind of like that other story yesterday where for some reason when an official uses it, it's okay. When a regular person uses it, for some reason it's too dangerous. It reminds me on how many times, what if there's a situation where someone just wants to document the scenario, like a protest or something like that, and now all of a sudden some, I don't know, corrupt official says, oh, no more information, blackout, you're not allowed to fly the drone to capture. What would happen in that case? It makes me think, because apparently in the world there was a huge, I guess, story about someone in Iran, and I believe the protest is about the police for some reason holding a female individual because she wasn't wearing a hijab, and that's kind of a requirement there, I guess. And because she died in their custody, there's huge protests. And with that, I guess the government is saying they're gonna black out, no internet and all that. But then here it says apparently with things like Starlink, they're actually going to give them internet access. Makes me wonder how that's going to turn out. This one says, Musk says he will activate Starlink amid Iran protests. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk said on Friday that he would activate the firm's satellite internet service Starlink in response to US Secretary of State Antony Blinken's tweet that the United States took action to advance internet freedom and the free flow of information to Iranians. The U.S. Treasury Department on Friday issued guidance expanding internet services available to Iranians despite U.S. sanctions on the country amid protests around Iran following the death of a 22-year-old woman in custody. Our understanding of Starlink is that what they provide would be commercial grade and it would be hardware that's not covered in the general license, so that would be something they would need to write into Treasury for. Anyone who meets the criteria outlined in this general license can proceed with their activities without requesting additional permissions. So I wonder if that will make the government there really angry, but it does show in terms of things, I guess, such as restrictions. Imagine that if people say, oh, you can't do this and that, fly this drone, capture the scenery or the situation during times where it could expose something bad. In my opinion, there has to be something to make sure that will never happen. Whereas just them saying, it's not that it's so dangerous and all that, we just don't want you to, quote, see it and show everyone. So that would be a worry. Alright, see you guys later.